Hello and welcome back to the Hairy Housewife YouTube channel, you beautiful lot. And today we're talking something slightly different. We are talking snow foam cannon maintenance. So hello and welcome back, and that is right, we are talking how to clean your snow foam cannon out. Now, it might be blocked, it might not be working like it used to, it just might need a bit of regular maintenance. Today I'm going to show you how. Now, when I look online, I only find the old sort of style lances with a similar head to that where you have to push a pin through. Very rarely do I see this sort of style, so I'm going to get rid of that one for now. And we are going to strip down this style cannon. Now, this is the Dodo Juice Snow Commotion foam lance. This is an absolute cracking foam lance. It doesn't matter what brand you've got, they all strip down in a very similar way. So we're going to start off by taking the bottle off the lance here. Then we're going to pull the pickup tube off. Now, just check the pickup tube, make sure it's not blocked, make sure you can see through either end. Some of these have a nice little filter on. This one doesn't, so I'm going to just pop that aside. And we're going to take off this cap here, which should just unscrew. Now, when you take any bits like this apart, you'll see that they do have PTFE like that on there. Just remove those for now. You don't want any debris sort of falling in your bottle and blocking your lance up a little bit later on. You will need to re-PTFE these. If you don't want to do that, then don't worry about taking this part off. That bit is not necessary. I'm just taking it off so it's easier for me to do. Now, if you look here, you can see there is a little metal pin. It goes all the way through the lance. Now, you can push it from this side, or you can just grab yourself a little flathead like this and just pop it off the cannon like so. Now, once that's out, you are free to pull this head off. Now, once you've pulled that head off, I would always recommend removing this rubber here, because you need to get a spanner on here. The last thing you want to do is damage this rubber, because you're going to have to go out and find another one, and it's just a right rigmarole, especially if you want to use your lance that day. So again, with your little flathead, just pop it under the rubber and lift it off. And there we have it. That is that rubber off. Now pop that aside. Make sure you don't lose any of the parts again, because you want to put this back together and you probably want to use it the same day. Trust me, I've been there, I've done it and had to wait. And then all you want to do is grab yourself an adjustable spanner. Now, everybody's got these laying around. I don't know the actual size for this. I only ever use an adjustable spanner on these. Just pop it on there. It shouldn't be too tight, but it will have a little bit of resistance. Once you have taken that off, you will have exposed the inside. Now, once that is stripped down, you will be able to see if anything is blocking the cannon itself. As you can see clearly through there. There is no debris stuck in there. You can see in there. Now, if you take out your little multi-tool like this, we can take this back off. Again, that shouldn't be too tight. Again, it is PTFE'd, so you will need to re-PTFE that. Some of them you don't need to. Some of them will come with a little rubber. This one doesn't. It's PTFE'd. Some of them also have Loctite on them, so they can be very tight to get off. But once you've taken it off, again, make sure you get any little bits like that off, because you don't want it going into the cannon and blocking it. If you want to upgrade your orifice, so some of them come with a 1.25mm orifice, and you want to upgrade to a 1.1, all you have to do is take that back part off. You stick your screwdriver in here, give it a little turn, and that is your orifice dropped out. And we can also check that just by looking through there. Now, this one does actually have a little blockage. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab myself a little stick and give it a little bit of a poke around. You can see the tip of the stick come through there. And as you can see, there was a little bit of a blockage in there, which could have stopped that snow foam cannon from working correctly. So once you've done that, pop that aside. And now we can see straight through the lance. Now, I don't know if you can see there. So you can see straight through the hole there. Now, if you were to do that and you couldn't see through the lance, then you would want to get yourself, again, something like a little cocktail stick and just give it a little bit of a poke through. But as you can see, that passes through without any issue whatsoever. Then you just want to give it a little bit of a wiggle round in there, see if there's any debris in there, any dirt in there, and see if there's any free movement. Now, if you were to wash this off, chuck this in a little bit of sort of soapy water and clean it up, you could then blow through that. Wouldn't recommend blowing through it unless you've washed it, because you don't want to get snow foam or any liquid in your mouth. If you've cleaned it off with a bit of fairy liquid, you can blow through there just to see if it is clear and see if there is sort of any movement. If there's not, then you can also grab a tiny little bit of thin wire, thread it through there until you see it pop up on the inside. But that is the body cleaned out. Now we'll put all that aside for just a second. Now 9 times out of 10, when your foam cannon is not working or performing correctly like you would want it to, the problem lies within here. Now what you want to do is you just want to pop something in there and push this whole little part out like that, as you can see. Once that is out, what you want to do is pop your little screwdriver or whatever little long device you have just in that hole and push, and there it is. There's the filter out. Now, as you can see, all of that debris has just fallen out of my filter, which will be causing the snow foam cannon to work a little bit less than what I expect it to. So now these filters, you can buy these for a couple of quid on the internet, but if you're like me, they just need to clean out. You don't always need to replace them unless they're sort of heavily covered in sort of a spray sealant or limescale and they're absolutely useless. Then all you need to do is grab yourself a Sports Direct mug. I'm sure you've got one of these. Everybody has one of these in the cupboard. Who doesn't? Now I like to just pop that in there. Pop a little bit of bicarbonate soda in. A little bit more than I probably needed in there. Now, I would use distilled white vinegar because that is what you use to sort of remove limescale in your kettle, anything like that. And however, today I haven't got it, but for the demonstration purposes of this video, I'm using white wine vinegar. It does the same sort of job. However, it won't remove limescale as good. So as you can see, I've got that in there with the bicarbonate soda. I'm just going to pour some in, and you can see that frothing up. Now that will be getting this vinegar into every little pore, nook and cranny of that filter. You can leave that overnight. You can leave it a few hours. I like to leave mine for about 2 or 3 hours. Give it a bit of a swill round, give it a bit of a mix up, and then I put that aside for a few hours. So now once that's been left a few hours, I run it under hot water to remove any of that bicarbonate soda vinegary solution and any of the debris that's loosened up and the limescale that it's got in there, just to rinse it all out so it's fresh and clean. And then you just want to do the reverse of what you've done to take it to bits. Now if you're watching this to put it back together, I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm not just going to say that's the end there. So we're going to pop that in there. Push it down. Now make sure you push gently. You don't want to go all the way through with your screwdriver and damage it. And that is that in there. That is the filter back in the head. And all you want to do is there are little notches inside your head there. You want to line them up with the notches on the plastic part here. And just pop that back in there and give it a little bit of a push down. Again, you want to use your screwdriver to push down. Now I'm going to be using this side now because I don't want to push into the filter, because you do have to push a little bit of force sometimes to get that back to where it's needed. So I'm going to pop that down there until you see it come through the other side. Now you want to get it level, the plastic bits level with the end there, and you are ready to go. So you just pop that aside. We're now going to take the body of our cannon and we're going to start popping this back together. So we're going to start with the head part there. We're just going to screw that on. Now you don't need to remove this. It's not vital to remove this if you're looking to clean your cannon out. You can see without removing it all the way through if you've taken the back part, like the fitting and the orifice off. But I like to strip it down anyway because I'm a bit anal like that. I like to make sure it's nice and clean and fresh for the next time I use it. Now people say I'm a little bit excessive. I do this probably once a week with my foam lances because I like to keep them in tip-top condition. And I just like them to be working correctly. All my tools, I like them to be working correctly. So I do again. I'll do this about once a week. If the cannon's been used. If the cannon hasn't been used, obviously I don't do it. But yeah. So you just want to pop your O-ring back on there. Again, just getting your little flathead screwdriver and popping it in place. Once that's back in place, we can then go ahead and put the orifice back in. Now, if you want to upgrade the orifice, these are only a few quid online. You can get the 1.1mm for a couple of quid on Amazon delivered. Again, you don't need to clean your filter out. You can buy them on Amazon. They're only a few quid. However, I like to clean mine out and keep them in tip-top condition. You don't need to change them once a week, but if you want to clean them once a week, be my guest. Once that's in there, you just want to get your flathead screwdriver and turn it. You don't want to over tighten these, but you just want to turn it until it stops. Now again, if your filter isn't blocked, the second most common problem of these not working is there is a little bit of debris caught in that little orifice hole, and it's stopping your pressure washer from putting water through it like it should. And then the third most common problem is it blocked on the pickup feed. Now, I've seen people soak these before in bicarbonate soda and vinegar. I've seen people, I mean, there's a bloke on YouTube that soaks these in sort of bleach and household chemicals. I wouldn't recommend that. You can soak them in bicarbonate soda to get them sort of clean and limescale free. However, over time, they will start to go a funny colour, like an older one I have here. You can see it's starting to go green. It's starting to go a little bit rusty. The rust is coming from the cheap connector there, but it's starting to go green. It's starting to go... You can soak that in Coke overnight, and it will go back to having a nice brassy colour. Or you can use a product like Brasso and give it a nice scrub over. However, I haven't had an issue with this one yet, and I've been soaking this quite a few times in bicarbonate soda and vinegar. Obviously, it being brass, eventually it will start to go green and start to go funny. When that happens, I'll chuck that in Coke overnight, and it'll come out looking like a new penny. Now, once we've done that, we are going to stick on the rear fitting. Now, if you're going to stick this back on yourself, I definitely recommend re-PTFE in that. Unless you've got one with a rubber, then you don't need to. However, just for you guys today, I'm not going to do that. But usually, I've got a roll of PTFE. I just put a new little bit on, take that bit off, and then pop it in. Now, again, you want to pop this in nice and tightly, but you don't want to over-tighten it because it will be a pain in the rear end next time you want to remove it. Now, you can use a spanner, or you can use a pair of pliers like this with the teeth on, just to grab it and give it a little bit of a turn. And that is it. It's not turning anymore, and I'm not going to force it because I don't want to over tighten it, and I don't want it to get stuck in there, because when I come to clean this out next time, I don't want to have to fight to get it off. Now, once you have the body back together, it's time to slip this bad boy back on. Now, as you can see, there is a little groove here on the head. That is what allows the head to turn, to give you that horizontal or vertical position. However, it's there to stop it from going all the way around and going too far. You want to line anywhere up on that with the notch on the top of the lance. There. Now pop it on. Now you will have to give it a little bit of a push. And then we go. Now as you can see, that little notch there is lined up with the groove on the top. And away we go. Now you can see here, there is a different side for the hole than there is that side. There's like a nice little flat bit. That is the side that you want your pin to sit in. Pop that in there. Pop it down and give it a bit of a wiggle. Now, it can be a little bit stiff. If you're having trouble getting it in, just take a look at this end and make sure where you've pushed it together, you haven't pushed this out further than the end of there. If you have, just pop your thumb on there, push it back a little bit, and then give it another go. And then all you want to do is just pop down, push it down as far as it can go. That is it. That is the head back together. Now, as far as the rest of the assembly goes, it is just as simple as popping the base plate on for the bottle. Again, re-PTFE it if you've got it. You don't need to take this off. I only take it off just because it makes it easier for me to show you guys today what I'm doing. I don't always take that off unless I'm going to be soaking it in Coke overnight. Then also there's a little screw there. I pop that off and make sure it's sort of bare, no plastic on there, and then I give it a nice soak. Pop that on there, and that is it. That is your Dodo Juice, or this style cannon, put back together, cleaned out, and ready to go for your next foaming session. So we have it, guys. I hope this video has helped you. I hope that you get your foam cannon working like you want. If you're here, you've obviously got an issue. So thank you for watching. I've been a Hairy Housewife. You guys have been great. I'll see you all again very soon.